Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Friday the 4th of June and I just have to announce that I will be away next week. I'll be away on traveling. I will go to see the sun. So unfortunately I need this holiday for a week. Sorry about that. I hope you will survive. I'm quite sure you will. All right, let's move on to have a look at Tesla. What happened yesterday, opened much higher. 10-12% or something, but ended not so much higher. It was rejected here at 188.14, didn't take out 194 strong resistance. So if it does close the gap here from yesterday and move back below the upper falling trend line, then the 167.75 support, key support, could come under pressure. If it does close below that, well, then there is further downside potential for Tesla. As we can see here on the weekly chart, we can see lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, and that could spell some trouble medium term on Tesla. But let's see. But it really needs to take out this little peak there, which is 198.87, 199 for reversal of the trend. Moving on to the overall market, we saw that S&P 500 moved higher yesterday, reaching 5,400 and a bit, and there's still a potential higher to 5,500. There's a positive sentiment on the RSI. There is no divergence indicating we are likely to see higher levels. Nasdaq 100 pushed to the 200% or 2.0 projection of this little correction here at 19,624. Also no divergence on the RSI, indicating that we are likely to see higher levels. As we discussed previously, there is potential up to 20,127 here in the coming weeks. On the contrary, we'll say on the European markets, totally opposite really here. We have Eurostoxx 50 closed below minor support at 49.42 yesterday, likely to test the 48.88 key support here. We are below the cloud. We are just not in the negative sentiment on the RSI, but if we do close around these levels here and especially below, well, then we will also be in a negative sentiment on the RSI. So those are some levels to keep an eye on. DAX very close to be testing the 18,191 support level. A close below could also very well push the RSI below 40. Then we are in a negative sentiment with potential down to 17,875, possibly lower. The AEX Amsterdam Index couldn't hold up yesterday. It's bullish push, trading a little bit lower now, and I think I will remove this one. We are still in an uptrend, however, but there is a massive divergence, so quite stressed at the moment. And what I will do, I will add a little bit of a trend line here just to give me a feeling what's going on. As you can see, very close to the more longer one or medium term one. So keep an eye on that to be broken, but we're not there yet. What is not looking too good is also CAC 40 that continued yesterday. Massive sell-off down to support at 76.91. Broken this morning and is now potentially down to around 7,500 level in this region here in this gap area. It looks really, really heavy at the moment. Negative sentiment, no divergence. So it looks really bad for the CAC 40 index. The Swiss market stalling a little bit. If we still have this top reversal in place, if we do close below 12,030, well, then I expect a sell-off lower towards the key support here at 11,771. But for now, it's still holding on. But we are currently trading just around and a little bit below the lower rising trend line. So could be a warning sign. There's divergence on the RSI, so maybe we should have a correction. If it trades a little bit higher above the 12,186, we could see a push towards previous peaks, but let's see about that. On the FX side, euro dollar breaking key support at 107.25 this morning, and RSI currently below the 40 threshold. So we are, if that is also what where we ended the rest of the day or lower, well then we are in confirmed bearish trend and negative sentiment, likely pushing lower towards 106.65 support here, and even previous lows around or previous troughs around here 106. For euro dollar really to change this, well 108.53 is the level it needs to break above. Euro sterling also lower this morning, very close to the 84 level, likely to be tested today. Could also be broken, and then there is not much stopping it to push lower, but that is a key support level at 84. Cable that failed to close above 128.18 the other day after spiking higher. I think we will see a test of 126.70 support here in the coming days. It looks fairly stretched, that exhaustive uptrend. You can see here that the RSI value was declining when the market moved higher, but and that is a sign of trend exhaustion, and I think we'll see a test of. We could be range bound in this range here for quite some time. A lot of yen pairs are moving higher. We had spike higher here today on the dollar yen, 158.25. Currently just below. Still, the uptrend is there. The RSI is in a positive sentiment. There's no divergence, as we have been talking about for days. I think we could see a push towards the 160 again going into next week. If it takes out 154.50, well, then that picture will change. Key support 168.25. You can see how many times it tested it. If it breaks below, doesn't have to close. If it breaks below, well, the lower rising trend line is likely to be tested, possibly down to 61.8 and 166.65. Aussie yen, very close. They were testing the previous peak there at 104.85. I think we'll push higher here in the coming weeks. If it takes out that level, well, then we're located at towards 106. Key support 102.80. Sterling yen, hovering around the 275 level, spiked just above the 201, very close to the 202. There is divergence on the RSI, so we are a little bit in a stress level, mode at the moment. 197.20 key support. If it breaks below that, well, the entire uptrend scenario has changed, but we are still there. But we need a confirmation to close above 200.75 for further uptrend confirmation. Aussie dollar still humming away sideways, really boring at the moment. When it will break out, hard to say, but the underlying moving average of 55, 100, 200, giving some strong support around here, the 65.80 level. We should see it pushing higher, but it really needs to take out 67.15 for that to materialize. Dollar Canada, I think we will have another go at the 137.85 resistance and the 786 correction, and I think next time it will be broken. We will have RSI back above 60, and then it will push higher towards 139. It needs to take out 135.90 to reverse that picture. EURSWISS really turned around lately, and now it's also below 96, pushing lower below the 200 moving average. I don't really have any strong support until around 95, 94, 65, around these levels here, before we see really some substantial support. It doesn't mean we can't see minor corrections on the way, but we are in a bearish trend. We can see 21 moving average close to crossing over 55, and we are below the 100, below the 200, so it looks quite heavy at the moment on EURSWISS. Dollar Swiss, on the other hand, just moving sideways between 88.80 and 89.90. The dollar index currently breaking above 105.38. If it does close above here, and if we get the RSI to close back above 60 threshold, well, then we are looking towards previous peaks at the 106.25, 107. Gold is still hovering around the 23, 14, 15 level here without any clear direction. I mean, the RSI is still in a positive sentiment, indicating we are likely to see higher highs. On the other hand, there is divergence, which indicates a trend exhaustion. So we are a little bit caught here between, I don't know what, to be honest, but 22.77 is still key support. If it does take out that, well, then expect a sell-off down towards the 2200 area, where we have some stronger support. Also, the 100 moving average coming up, and gold must break 23.88 and close above for upside potential. Silver looks like the heaviest of them are still in a downtrend. A confirmed downtrend, almost testing the 61.8 at 28.50. Bounced off the that's the 55 moving average. Sorry. I think we could still see a dip down. There is, however, no divergence on the RSI. It is still in a positive sentiment, but it needs to get back above above 60 for uptrend resuming. A close above 30.25 will confirm that reversal picture. Gold-silver ratio seems like the shoulder, head, shoulder and neckline. This inverted shoulder-head-shoulder pattern has been confirmed, and we should see gold-silver ratio pushing towards 81.70, possibly higher in the coming weeks. If it takes out and drops below the right shoulder, where it was very close to yesterday, well, then this picture is demolished and it will continue lower. Platinum, 941, the 786 retracement. Very close to be testing, just a couple of dollars from it here this morning. We could still test it because we are below the 40 RSI. We are testing the 100 moving average. We are now in a negative sentiment, so it could push a little bit lower. I don't see it pushing above 1,050 anytime soon. But let's see. We need to have a bottom in place, or bottom pattern in place, before we can call a reversal. But for now, it could dip lower. Copper, on the other hand, is fairly boring, hovering around between 440 and 450. It needs to break above 470 to reverse this short-term bearish trend. We're still in a positive sentiment on the RSI, so let's see here the next couple of days. If it takes out the lows here, and I think I will move this one to there, then we can better see it. 443, if it takes out that, well, then there's potential down to around 425 or 416. On the energy side, WTI still sliding slowly lower after being rejected. Read my update on Brent crude oil and WTI crude oil that I published yesterday. More in that, then I think we will see it sliding lower. It's not unlikely we could spike higher, but I think we will keep sliding lower here, or the downtrend will resume in the coming weeks. The US Treasury 10-year yields below 427, 470, key support. If it takes out that, well, then we could see lower levels towards 4%. The 2-year yield broken below 466. So if we just add a little bit of a trend line over here, or support line, well, there is potential down to a 450 around that level. I'm not quite sure we'll get there, but at least that's the potential we have at the moment. All right, as you can hear, I need a holiday, and I'm looking forward to it, and I wish you the best for next week, and talk to you again in Monday, 8 days. Have a nice weekend, and happy trading.